Oh my gosh, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Periscope family. Good morning, everybody who is going to be on the replay. It's 8 a.m. in Colorado, and so we'll just warm up here for a minute while we're waiting for everybody else to jump on the call. Good morning, Deborah. I have got so much today. I woke up this morning so excited, and stuff was just rolling and mulling in me. Good morning, Darlene. So, not sure how I'm going to bring it out because I want to connect from my heart. But I have 7 pages. Good morning, Sharon. Thank you for being so faithful to join us every day, Sharon. I hope this is making a difference for you. Molly, good to see you back in the saddle today. Thanks for being a part of our morning. The sun is out, and it's been interesting the last 3 weeks because I wake up every day wondering what I'm going to do with this. Love Thursdays. Yes, because Friday's coming, and Friday, thank you, Deborah. Friday, Deborah's coming down to our house, and we're having dinner together. And we always have fun having dinner together. So anyway, this morning I woke up and all of these thoughts were going through my brain and I knew I had to get them out. So I just came in and started writing. I'm realizing more and more as I'm teaching you guys about writing, I'm realizing how very important writing. And I was talking with Rhonda Grimes yesterday and she said, there's this connection when you feel your pen moving on the paper, there's that resistance that develops something. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I have 7 pages that I wrote this morning. I was so involved with the writing that I forgot I needed to make notes for how I wanted to do the call. So I'm not going to worry so much about where my eyes are going and where they're looking at. Oh, side note, by the way, yesterday I talked about Yosemite National Park. A friend of mine just posted on Facebook today, and it's on my page. I spent high school living in Mount Rainier National Park. And the Park Service is coming out with forever stamps. And so the first one being released today, you can see it is a picture of Mount Rainier. It's a forever picture of Mount Rainier. And that's so cool because those of us who've lived and spent time on Mount Rainier always end up walking away referring to it as my mountain. And so this is the first postage stamp I've ever wanted to buy and use all the time. It's a forever stamp of Mount Rainier. It's absolutely spectacular. So be sure to go to my Facebook page and like that. Also, the other quick news, Catch Me is going away, so I've got to find another way to record and archive these calls so we won't have that available. So you're going to want to watch the replays, and then we'll figure out how to get them posted to YouTube or do something fun like that. So anyway, I woke up this morning with all these thoughts going through my head, started writing right away, and realized as I'm looking at this, it's like, yes, I'm the founder of the Destiny Plan. Yesterday was so cool because for the first time, I really started talking about the Destiny Plan and what that is. And I realized that I'm the founder, but I'm not so much the creator of the Destiny Plan. Good morning, Brenda. I'm the initiating voice for the Destiny Plan. I thought that was so cool to realize that my voice is the initiator for the Destiny Plan. And so I was like, oh, how do we introduce it? What do we say we are? And it just started flowing. The Destiny Plan is a growing community that encourages and celebrates people connecting with and developing their passion, their destiny, and their voice. We believe that everyone deserves the opportunity to be in an environment that encourages, that celebrates, that mentors the development of who they are. Yes, we're going to come back to Firestarter in a minute. I've got a scripture I'm going to read you guys on that. Thanks, Deborah. Of who they were created to be, and encourages them to take that gift to their family, to their church, to their community, to their state, to their nation, to the world, knowing that who they are, big or small is a relative term, but who they are, big or small, will make the world better. As I was praying this morning, it hit me. There's a few voices that are being heard very loudly in the world today. And I thought, if those voices can be heard, then my voice can be heard. And if my voice can be heard, your voice can be heard. So bringing that voice to the world is huge. So then I sat down, I started to drink my coffee, and it's like my coffee this morning was lukewarm. Now, I drink most of this cup. It's like 3 cups. I drink it throughout the day. Most of it's lukewarm. But as I went downstairs to heat it up, I thought, nobody wants to start out with cold coffee. Nobody wants to start out with lukewarm coffee. It's fine if it gets lukewarm later, but it needs to be hot. And I was thinking about that. It's like your voice needs to be hot. Your passion needs to be on fire. Nobody wants to listen to lukewarm, cold passion. So our job is to provide heat and flame for this community, to bring it alive, and that heat and that flame is going to come from each person, because if the Destiny Plan, what's in my heart, is going to change the world, people's health, their finances, their passion, their vision, their values, their message, their voice. If we're going to do that, the flame has to be hot. And what I saw is that flame can't come from me. It has to come from lighting the flame that's in each one of you and blowing on and nurturing and growing that flame, because that's the flame that can spread. So here's what I wrote. This is from remember the other day, guys, I read you the word that the Lord gave me back in August. And so as I was thinking about flame this morning, I remembered what the Lord gave me in here, and I'm going to read 3 paragraphs to you, because there's always going to be an enemy. There's always going to be somebody wanting to put out your flame. There's always going to be somebody wanting to put out your fire. So this is what the Lord said to me, and I'm going to share it to you today because I think it really, really matters. Forest, fight the enemy. He will fight this new journey of yours with all that he has. Just like firefighters fight to stop a small fire before it explodes. And those of you who live in Colorado, you know what it's like to have a fire that just takes off and grows. You know, if you can stop it right away, it's very different than a fire that takes off and explodes. Just like firefighters fight to stop a small fire before it explodes. That's what the enemy wants to do to your voice. So, Forest, fan the flames that are leaping in your heart. Blow on them, because no one can stop a true wildfire. Wildfires are the result of conditions, of weather, terrain, wind, etc. Just like those weather conditions fan or don't fan the flames of a forest fire, there are conditions in your heart. And the Lord said, the conditions of your heart are your choice. Choose the conditions that will fan your flames. The grief of your past, I think we all have grief, we all have sorrows, we all have challenges. The grief of your past will be consumed by this fire. Good morning, Pam. Pam, you want to go back and watch the beginning of this, because I was thinking of you as I put it together, so be sure to watch the replay. The grief of your past, the challenges, the hurts of your past will be consumed by this new fire. And that's exactly right, Deborah. I wrote, a new forest, small f, parentheses, capital F, will rise up. I remember after the great fires of Yellowstone, the great fires they had in Yellowstone a number of years ago, I went back about 5 years later, and those fires had consumed like so much of Yellowstone National Park. And you're thinking you're going to go back to this devastated park that's not like you remember it. But I went back, and guess what was coming up? There's a whole new forest infrastructure coming up. There's a whole new life coming up. The fires consumed the old, but they paved the way for the new. So the grief of your past will be consumed by this fire, and a new forest will rise up. A new you will rise up, just as it does after every fire. This fire is fanned by your joy, by your vision, and by your passion. This fire is the one thing. Your vision is the one thing. Once the blaze is blazing, this is so cool. Once the blaze is blazing, it runs itself if the weather conditions stay the same. It will create its own weather, and I, God, am the spirit wind who will fuel it. But you can't just sit around, Forest. You must move forward. You must cross your Jordan River. Let your calling pull you forth. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Pam. Yes, it's a new us. Let your calling pull you forward. Many will resist your leading, including you, because they only know the old you. Trust in your calling. Let it pull you forward, and trust me for the remnant who will follow you. The remnant comes out of Elijah when after he'd done that whole big crazy thing with Baal and he thought he was all alone. The Lord said there was a remnant of 7,000 he was going to give to him. Even your wife only knows the old you. Only your family knows the old you. Your family only knows the old you. So it's time for you to discover what I have for you. And then he went on and talks about some other stuff that we don't have time for today. So hopefully that makes some sense to you guys, and where I'm going with that, we can have more conversation on it. So here's the interesting thing with a forest fire. It burns out everything. It kills everything. But in the ground, there are all of these seeds that have been laying there. There are seeds that actually wait for the flame of a fire to open them up and create the environment for the seeds to grow. So the seeds that are in you, I believe that everybody's destiny, their purpose, their passion, we read all of these books and go to all these meetings, and we wait for the prophet, and we wait for somebody's word, and we wait for something to show us what our passion, our purpose, our destiny is. But we don't have to be out here because it's in here. You see, the seeds are in us, And seeds can stay dormant for decades, decades and decades, waiting for the right conditions to cause them to sprout. So the seed is in you, and you need to, it's like, go find that seed that's in you. I want to encourage you on Cheryl's website page, CherylTownsleyTraining.com, CherylTownsleyTraining.com. I have a free class up there called Values. And this value, it's like a 1-hour audio file, and that values training will open a door of revelation for you as you begin to look for your passion. Because once you get clarity on your values, which is such a huge thing, they explode in the heat of passion. That's so cool. That's a good one, Deborah. You should make a Facebook post on that. Have Luna post that on Facebook. Where was I? Values. If you're having trouble figuring out your passion, your destiny, your purpose, start by getting clarity on your values. And I remember this, Cheryl and I were talking about values about a year or two ago, that I had gone to a lot of seminars on values. And when they got to the values part, we had to share it. I usually left the room because it was awkward, because I always thought that everybody else had good values and theirs sounded good. And so I wanted to be like this one and this one and this one. But what were my values? What were really in me? So in that values training, again, it's about an hour. Cheryl's going to open some doors for you to go through that will give you some clarity on your values, and we can coach you on that as well. Because once you get clarity on your values, then all of this other stuff around passion, mission, and vision really begins to open up to you, and it begins to resonate with you. Because when you get connected with the ones that are in you, it's like two tuning forks. Remember, you can hit a tuning fork, and then you can take another tuning fork you didn't hit, and what happens? That tuning fork starts to resonate, and it both starts to vibrate together. So discovering your values, your passion, your vision, beginning to put the flame to those seeds in you that are ready to blossom, to grow and be nurtured. That stuff all resonates when it lines up, and you'll know you're on track with that. And we've gone 10 minutes today. Okay, the good news is that I've got like some really cool stuff that we're not going to get to today. So I think we'll wrap up with encouraging you to go watch that video on Let's Go Longer, Pam says. I know it's exciting. I'll go a few minutes longer. No, I can't, Pam, because if I do, it's going to take me another 15 minutes to jump into this, because what I want to talk about next is your community. Your community matters. And so what I'd like you guys to do, I want to encourage you today to get those values pinned down. So go take some time, if you have it today, and watch Cheryl's webinar on values, and realize that there is a seed in you that needs to come out, and that this community we're developing, the Destiny Plan, it's just the destinyplan.com, is, yes, I'm the founder of it. I created the idea for it. But it's going to grow because it's the result of what's in you coming out, and what's in you being nurtured and developed. And part of my role is to be the wind, the voice, the breath that blows on that flame that's in you. And this community is going to expand and grow because of your voice. My job, I think right now, my support role is to encourage your voice and to give some framework to where the community is going. In other words, this is not a community that's, we're not a community that does A or B or C. We're a community that's doing D. That's not the right word. We have a community that's focused on certain things. There's other things we don't do. There's other communities for that. But I believe this community will touch and change the world. People need to be healthier. They need to create financial margin. They need to discover their passion, their purpose, who they are. They need to celebrate each other's what's in them. To do that, we've got to be healthy. If we're not healthy, our minds aren't clear. We have brain fog. We have brain fuzz. We don't have passion. We don't have excitement. If we're broke, we don't have the ability to go do the things we're called to do. If we don't have people that are like-minded to us, then how do we celebrate? This is not a community that celebrates at the bar. This is a community that celebrates in homes, and it celebrates life, and it celebrates people's success, and it celebrates us becoming more. We'll talk about this tomorrow, I think. We need to celebrate becoming more than a socialist nation waiting for the government to solve our problems. We want to celebrate a community that's growing and prospering and creating life and sharing that life with others. So thank you all for being a part of Periscope with me today. Thank you for letting me connect with what's in me. Thank you for letting me share with what's in me with what's in you. And I want to just give a shout out to Pam today. Pam sent me a note. She got her first copy of The Passion. She ordered Hebrews and James, which was the first one I started with. I think it's it's $10. And she wrote me today and said it's already rocked her world. So, and she's a person who's read the Bible all of her life, been a great Christian all of her life. And so I want to encourage you guys, dig into your passion translation, connect with your heart, and most importantly, get your pens. Oops, 3 pens, red, black, and blue, and get your journal and spend time writing, because that's where you're going to connect with what's in you, and you're going to begin to develop and bring forth your message, your passion, and your heart when you write. Congratulations, Molly, on getting yours yesterday. Okay, find pens you love. Thank you all. Be blessed and have an amazing, amazing day. We love you. Goodbye.